The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
Kelly's has been a fun place to eat and drink in Quincy since 1982. A fun and friendly atmosphere, food with flavor, homemade cinnamon rolls, and famous cheese soup, the best menu in town. Kelly's, 2902 Broadway, Quincy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad, and today I am stoked to be sitting here with these fine fellas. So we have Kelby Resinito, Trevor Beck, and Nick Highland, and you guys, so I don't always get to talk about something awesome, but today we do, and that is the range of the KC, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. All right, yeah. Well, thank you guys for being here. This is something that, even though I'm not like a golfer, this is something that's so exciting to me. So why don't one of you go ahead and like take the reins and tell me kind of what the general idea for the range of the KC is. You want me to pick? Trevor, go ahead.
Go
Nick, go ahead.
Nick.
All right.
So I mean, the biggest thing is the range of the KC is golf year round. So I mean, that's the concept, and some of the sub points of it is it's a covered structure. It is powered by Top Tracer, which, if people aren't aware, that's the technology that powers Top Golf.
Okay.
And so the biggest thing about that is now they've found a way to integrate tech into golf, and you can have a long drive contest, you can have it closest to the pin, you can play virtual golf. They have something new. They have several kid-related games that are coming out at the end of this coming year and even middle of the year that are all specific to a family golf entertainment environment. They also feed into the hardcore golfer. So you can come in there with an app that is awesome to use that tracks your clubs. Say if you want to dial in your 9-iron, you know how many 9-irons that you've hit a certain yardage over the past month. You can play virtual courses. So you could have little golf tournaments there specifically that are in January.
Yeah.
Right now, this time next year, people will be playing golf. So I mean, there'll be heaters there, food and beverage. I mean, it's going to have a great dynamic of just family fun, and it's going to cater to the golf enthusiast, to the person that's never hit a single ball.
I was going to say, and me, which I have been to Topgolf, and when we first started talking about this, I think the natural question is kind of, is it like Topgolf? I mean, we know that it's it's kind of like simulation type thing, but in what ways is it like Topgolf, and in what ways is it going to look different? Does that question make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to shoot it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be like Top Golf in a sense. You're not going to have your second or third deck driving range like we see at Top Golf.
Gotcha.
It's the same technology that they're using though as Top Golf with Top Tracer. We're going to have light up targets that are going to be able to be hit too. I don't know exactly how many yet we're going to have, but I know several. Obviously, we plan on doing food like Top Golf does and stuff like that, as well as the games that Top Golf offers with their technology. So I think in a sense it's going to be like Top Golf, but more of like a Quincy type style.
Sure.
Top Golf for our community size.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're actually physically hitting a golf ball, right? You're not.
Yes.
It's not a simulation like what I said. I mean, you're actually physically hitting a ball into a field, right? Into like a physical location. Is that right?
It's funny you say that because I've had a couple of people ask me about
see,
that. So,
yeah.
Yeah, you'll hit like the KC range, the driving range now. I mean, you're going to hit like you hit a normal golf ball. I mean, everything, your swing, everything is normal. You're hitting a golf ball out 200. Well, I can only hit one like 260 yards.
Don't be modest,
Kelly
Trev.
can hit it like 350 yards.
I mean, you owned him for the height. You might as well tell him how far.
Yeah, right. Let's not be modest here, guys. But
So yeah, I mean, you can actually get to hit a golf ball, but you can. I actually had somebody ask me yesterday. In fact, it's like if you want to come and play, just hit golf balls. You can still hit golf balls. You don't have to do the
app
tracer. You know,
okay.
you can still just hit golf balls and like work on a normal practice.
Gotcha.
But the simulation is more so the interactive with games, the yardage, all the above. I mean, I think Nick said there was 200 plus like courses you could play.
Yes.
yeah, and competing against people worldwide, I think is something globally. Yeah, you told me. I think that's outstanding. Not that I could really compete with anybody, but I think it would still be fun to try. Right. So the range at the KC. Now everybody knows that there's a par 3 and the driving range at the KC. So it's kind of a no-brainer, I think, when you start thinking about bringing something like this to Quincy. But how did that partnership kind of come to mind? And I'm real curious how this partnership came to mind, because not that I don't love all three of you individually, but sometimes seeing the partnership, the trio of you three, it's kind of like, how in the hell did this come about?
I don't know.
No?
I can tell you the conversation if you'd like it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, you tell it.
You might all have 3 different
Yeah,
versions.
I'm sure of it, yeah. No, you're good. You're
We
good.
don't have a hot mic.
No.
So it was just casually he and I talking. I mean, obviously I know Kelby and I know his background, and we were just chatting one day, and I'm like, hey, do you think, would a high-end driving range go here? You know, do you think it's even like any type of good business type idea to go, hey, what would it look like for a high-end driving range? Not necessarily like a Top Golf, because I mean, obviously Top Golf, if you put a Top Golf in Quincy, I mean, there's a large financial investment in that.
Right.
I'm not saying this thing is free by any means, but I mean, that's a massive financial undertaking, and you know, do you have the population, do you have all these things, but could you do something similar? Could you do something that is a fit, you know, for the 60-mile community around Quincy? And that's how it kind of started, and with a little bit of research, we ended up chatting with Trevor, and here we are.
There you go.
I mean, the KC was, I think, right place, right time for us. They've been awesome, even to have that opportunity, and I mean, for people that are from Quincy, and obviously if you didn't hold it against Kelby in the last time being from Galesburg, but I mean, for people that grew up in Quincy and have been here, you know, they played golf, they spent time there with their parents, their grandparents. There's a lot of people that probably learned to play golf either on that par 3 or at that driving range. So I think especially for me, you know, playing there with my dad and growing up in golf, I mean, I think it's that much more special. Because I mean, for us, we were looking at land originally.
Yeah.
And even in the back of, for sure, my mind is like, you know, you're going to end up competing against this. And I mean, to me, you know, it's a landmark for the golf community, you know, the current range at the KC. And so I think for us to be able to come in and, you know, put something different, give it a different spin, boost it up, and be able to bring it for the golf community and the surrounding, I think it's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, definitely an upgrade, we'll say, right? Everybody does love the range at the KC and the par 3, and I have a lot of memories there as well, more around the bar area, we'll say, than the driving range. But KC, you know, as you mentioned, it does hold a special place in a lot of people's hearts. So it is cool that you are partnering with them, and you are leasing that ground from them for now, right? I mean, that's what's happening now. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? But another question I had, because you did bring up the par 3, I can visualize the dock or the bays on the driving range, but I can't see how the par 3 plays into that. Can you give me a little more, or how, or?
It's pretty much just going to stay kind of where, I mean, we're not planning on doing any physical changes other, you know, where things are at, how things function. The range is going to be where it's at. Par 3 is going to be where it's at. The par 3, you know, as far as the discussion there, for right now, it's kind of status quo. We have some future plans for it.
Gotcha.
Maybe doing some night golf, or that's a upcoming thing in other cities where maybe we can bring that to Quincy too. But yeah, as far as the actual, you know, the range, we don't really plan to change anything as far as locations, as far as that's concerned.
Gotcha.
But just to clarify too on the lease, I mean, we don't plan on moving or being, I mean, we plan on being there.
Yeah.
We signed a long-term lease,
Gotcha.
so we feel like we're very established there. So that people don't have to worry about, like, oh, this is going to be around in 2 or 3, 5 years, whatever. So we're there for, I mean, Kelby might grow a little bit more, and you know, he might get some more gray hairs like Nick and I. But
Hey, you're there for the long haul, right? The long drive. Hey, so I think it's.
you brought it up earlier.
Yeah, right. Now we're just playing off
This is
each
how
other.
they treat me.
I was going to say, you said if that's the
I'm like
nicest
a little
thing.
brother that gets treated poorly by these guys.
Somebody's got to be the little brother, you know?
Turn 30. I mean,
Yeah.
You're but a
I
baby.
can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
They just turned 30.
Well, happy late birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what a cool thing to bring to Quincy. So I'll go ahead and speak for everyone when I say thank you for putting your asses on the line, bringing this here. I know it is no small financial investment. It's going to be a big job. But I think the benefits that it brings to this community are going to outweigh all of that. And I wish you all nothing but success. And I have no doubt that that's going to happen for you guys. So what is the planned opening date? Is there one? Did I just like totally blow that?
No,
Okay.
No, we've talked about the first week of June. You know, I mean, I think in any business, you'd love to be open tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, as we see with the weather and some stuff's clearing out, I think those will play a lot of factors on how quick or how slow it takes. But I mean, we have a tentative looking at June. I mean, the biggest thing that we're looking at is making sure that we're open and ready for Little People's.
Yeah.
When Little People's rolls around, and that's something that's been big in the back of our mind to ensure that, you know, the golf community that's dependent on that range still can depend on that range and make sure that we're for sure up for that.
Yeah, that's great. So
Yeah, I mean, there's really no other driving range in the area that, you know, that I know of, other than just the private clubs that are around. But even then, I mean, just, you know, I think touching back to what Nick said, like the everybody knows where it's at, you know, we're just really wanting to enhance that experience, and it ranged from anywhere from 4 years up to 85 or 100 years that, you know, come out and use it. So I think that there's going to be definitely I don't know, you'll see everything out there, I think, from amateurs to professionals to absolutely whatever.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be great. And you know, so one thing that I hear a lot of people say a lot, and I say it myself, I wish there was more things to do, you know, as a family, because there are some things, but not necessarily new. You're not really learning a new skill, or you're not teaching anything with your kids. You're just going, having fun, spending money, right? This is going to be, I think, something for everyone, even if you are an amateur or professional. I mean, you can, I think there really is going to be something for everyone. And then you mentioned hopefully having food trucks and, you know, cash bar and events. And I have no doubt that you guys are going to do, you know, great things for the community, not just bringing this here, but giving back. So again, thank you for bringing this here. I just am really, really excited, and I know I speak for everybody when we say, when I say thank you for putting your neck on the line and bringing this here. I think it's just going to be so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kelby Resinito, Trevor Beck, Nick Highland, and we are really, really excited about the range of the KC. So thanks again.
Yeah.
You guys rock. You're always welcome here to chat more about it, but appreciate what you're doing. Keep up the good work.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Coming up next, I sit down with Meg Duncan. We talk Twain Talk. Stay tuned.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center.
Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
Tower Pizza and Mexican offers a full menu of pizza, wings, and Mexican favorites. Try the shrimp tacos, fajitas, or a Jeff's special pizza. Extra sauce, pepperoni, sausage, ham, and mushrooms, all on their homemade crust. Tower Pizza and Mexican, 2701 Broadway, Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
And welcome back. Now it's time for Twain Talk with Meg Duncan. What's going on?
A lot, of
Yeah,
course, always.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so Hannibal, I don't know if anyone read about it yet, but had a building collapse yesterday.
I saw it.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
So really it was an older house that I feel like if you've been around Hannibal, people could probably easily recognize because it's just over on 6th Street.
Yeah.
It was a vacant apartment building, thankfully, though. And they don't think they said they have no reason to believe anyone was in it or anything along those lines.
No foul
no
play.
one was
Yeah.
hurt. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. It was actually on the demolition list. So it was going to come down anyway. It just wasn't scheduled quite yet to, but they just
Gotcha.
went ahead and were like, well, let's do that today.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so that's what Ryan Nysen came out, our Hannibal police chief, and talked to us about it, and said that he was just going to go ahead and move it up and get the trucks out, and so they took it down yesterday, which
you go.
it's been an apartment building, like a rented apartment building for a long time. I know, actually, some people I know used to live there, so I have memories
Really?
of just being upstairs in it back to like 20 years ago. So.
Wild. Now, does Hannibal have a lot of those properties?
They do, and
Okay.
that's something that City Council is addressing quite a bit, are the derelict properties. And I'll be honest, I didn't even ever hear the word derelict until
I think I've heard it before, but never really associated with properties. So this it's kind of funny to hear. But I understand.
know, now I say it all the time.
Yeah,
and
right.
and I act like I've been
You know
saying
what
it
you're
forever.
talking about?
You know, derelict properties.
Well, so when I go to Hannibal, most of the time it's Main Street, and I have been other places, but I haven't really noticed a lot.
Sure. Main Street's so well kept. And to be honest, there's so many places in Hannibal that's well kept. I mean, if you go down Center Street, it's just this mixture of people who are taking these beautiful homes and fixing them up. And then some that are just they're falling apart.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's a mixture of that, which is sad to see. And there's a lot. I just know from a council meeting earlier in January. We're still in January. Earlier this month.
Yeah.
January's long.
I know it is. Yeah, we're just 76 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Right yeah.
So anyway, they were talking about the fact that all of the properties and everything. They said that there were like 70 right now that were on a list, and now a lot of those properties. Every great once in a while in city council meetings, they will sell one for people to fix up, and they get sold at like $600 or, you know, because they're going to be torn down.
With the promise of either tearing down or fixing up.
Right.
And the hospital, wasn't the hospital one of those? Or what?
Well, the hospital's not necessarily, I don't think, yes and no.
Okay.
They have definitely tried to sell the hospital. It's just such a big monster of a building.
It's like an albatross, yeah.
It is. And so with the hospital, I know they've kind of done that self-deadline where they're giving themselves, I'm not sure what, they had talked about a year. I'm not sure if that's how long that's stuck, but it's something that they're definitely trying to deal with, because I didn't know it was so expensive to tear down a place.
I didn't either.
You know, but they said like St. Elizabeth's is, you know, they estimate in the millions to get tore down.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And then even like the little properties, Mike Dobson, you know, city council, he had said that they're about 10 to 15,000 to tear those down.
And the money comes from a budget that's already established, or taxpayers?
Taxpayer money, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I assume it would come out of, well, I don't want to assume because I'm really not sure on that, but I just know that it definitely is
taxpayer money.
Yeah, it is taxpayer money. And it's something that they've brought up in city council, is trying to figure out how to, especially bigger buildings, how to sort of like have some kind of a assurance from the get-go that there will be insurance or something, that if it were to become, trying to find some kind of responsibility.
Gotcha.
But
for whoever buys the
buys the property. Yeah. Gotcha. You know, so if it does become derelict, then there's somebody that they can say, hey, you made a promise that we're gonna, and it doesn't just go back to the taxpayers. So I don't know where they're at on that, because I don't really know what their power is in that way, if they're overstepping personal rights. Or
so now I know I've asked this question before concerning other topics, but is there like a committee handling these properties that maybe look outward to other communities to see what they've done, as opposed to burdening the taxpayers with all of this?
Yes, which is I know Bob Yap and I will have to look up the other gentleman's name because I forgot it, but they actually did a presentation earlier this month about all of the properties that were in bad shape. So the city council has actually had them lead a committee, and I don't know that they've met yet or where they're at, but it's actually something I plan to follow to see what their plans are to figure out, you know, the city right now, they are looking at ways to, like I said, with the insurance and ways to prevent it, but what do you do with the ones that are there right now?
Sure.
You know, so that's what they're trying to figure out.
And every community has them. It's just,
absolutely.
You know, it would be nice to see, you know, someone who's figured it out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
and James Lemon, city attorney, was actually going to look into that as well. He had said so. Now, I don't know that he's reported back, so it's something probably at next city council meeting I'll have to bring up to him and, you know, like, what'd you find out there?
Sure.
And then I know the committee, I'm sure, will be checking out other places as well. So it'll be interesting. I would love to see, you know, you hate to see the old properties tore down that you've seen since you were a kid, but at the same time, it's healthier for the city. Right. It's safer.
Well, you can't have buildings just falling down.
No.
I mean, especially if you know that there's a better way to do it.
Right.
So
and there's really, as far as I know, nothing that caused this. There actually, when I went to the building collapse yesterday, the neighbor who called was out there.
God,
and
how scary.
Yeah, he said that he just like heard something. It sounded like something being dragged next door, and he looked out his window, and it just like
kablooey.
Yeah, yeah. There's a picture of it on my article.
Yeah.
So, and there wasn't a lot to say about it. I mean, it was a, you know, let's like.
It's an unfortunate event any way you look at it, just because, you know, we need to do something with them, but we don't want to burden the taxpayer. But how do you do it safely? And so it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah.
Something else interesting is something new and exciting for Hannibal, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was going to tell everybody to go check out their new website.
Yeah.
Look up City of Hannibal. I think it's hannibal-city.mo.gov. Look it up. If that's the wrong link, just type in City of Hannibal. You'll find it.
Yeah.
And it's really interactive. It shows all of the departments. You can actually do a lot of things like apply for licenses online now, and you can also report things like properties you need to report, things like that. You can report online, which is huge, because I know city clerk used to have to struggle with a lot of paperwork that was just people having to come in, and it's just not how we do things anymore.
Right, it's the way of the world. Gotta keep changing, or you're falling behind.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, check it out. There's a lot of really cool things on there, and it has a nice flow. So I think people would. I think it was a great improvement for the city.
Money well spent.
Yeah,
convenience and finding online resources is something that is definitely necessary, especially for city government. So I can't wait to check it out. That's awesome.
Yes.
Excellent. Cool. Well, as always, it's wonderful talking to you and seeing you. And real quick, she said she just rolled out of bed and got here, but I don't think so. You always look great. So,
well, thanks.
You're welcome.
It is noon, so I rolled out of bed earlier, but I had somewhere to be this morning, and I just rolled out, ran there, and then never did anything else.
Well, you look great, and it's always great to talk to you. So, come here, bedhead and all, anytime. All right. I think that's it for Twain Talk.
Thanks.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.